All right, check 1 2, check 1 2. I think we're good. Let me get some music going here. Ooh, lower that down a bit. Lower that down a bit. Needs to be a little bit more ambient there, hopefully. But anyway, how's it going, everyone? How's it going today? This is Haruka Sumi, and I'm hoping I don't throw anybody off today. I'm using a PNG today to fit our theme. So RPG Maker. We are using RPG Maker VX Ace to make a classroom, and specifically, we are also using. Let me see if I can find it. We are using Gutty Crim Japanese School tile sets. The link is in the description in YouTube. So if you want to see, if we want to check out what else he's got, go over there, please. Go over there. But yeah, I haven't used this scene in a while, so it might be a bit messy. Hopefully, it's not too terrible. But I'm gonna have to figure out how to adjust this much later. Anyway, also today the music is brought to you by Hololive Lo-Fi Chill and Mix from Hololive Music Studio. This is directly from the Hololive channel. It says it's okay to use, so I'm hoping that's the case. Because it's nice. Actually, it's very nice. Let's see. I don't think I have any specific news to bring up today. Other than I'm seeing that vaccines for most people are starting to become available. If you haven't gotten your shots yet, start getting it. And if you got your second shot by now, congratulations, you're now vaccinated. I've been vaccinated myself since I think the end of January. So I got that in pretty early because I was with a medical team at the time. But yeah, if you haven't gotten your vaccines already, and you can do that as soon as possible, the sooner we can get out of this pandemic, the better. Okay, gotta take care of that later. Anyway, so what are we doing today? We are making a classroom in RPG Maker VX. This is a default scene that you will get whenever you open RPG Maker VX. And why is... Let me close that. I was looking at Twitter at the same time. That's probably why it was clipping like that. Okay. That's better. This should be better. If I can get this thing to come up. It do be fickle like that. It do be very fickle like that. I guess the best way I can show this is to just... What do you call this? Best way to show this is to actually just put it on a separate monitor and work from there. But if I do that, I'm working from my tablet, and that's not exactly the most ideal place to put it in. So at least for now, it's not the most ideal. Anyway, so let's see. So classroom. Let me actually just show you really quick what the tile sets are supposed to look like, so that we have a reference on what we have. Let's see. Is there a way to do? I should have done this sooner. Should have done the slideshow, image slideshow. And then there we go. So these are what we're working with. These are the tile sets that we're working with, and as you can see, it's a Japanese style school with all the etchings and oldness of what a Japanese style school may have. we're probably not going to do it exactly like this. I don't know how a Japanese school would look like. All the Japanese schools I've seen are in anime, so it's like we're going to be working partly based on this, also partly based on imagination. So I'm just going to put this up in the corner as reference, but we're not going to be using it like specifically. Also, let me adjust that transition speed to be a little bit slower. Like quite a bit slower. But yeah, we'll be using that as a reference, but we're not going to be using that. We're not going to be referencing that specifically as far as how we're going to make these slides. So if I wasn't actually going to mention it, but this is actually part of an art trade I'm doing with Teacher Amy. If you haven't seen Teacher Amy in Twitter or YouTube or Twitch yet, she does mainly language streams, Japanese language streams. I think some Duolingo here, and she also sets up some of her own classes. And we're doing this today as a request from her. Hey, Teacher Amy, welcome to the stream. I was just talking about the background of what we're doing here. But yeah, as you can see, I also look a little bit different today. I'm in my sprite form to, what do you call this, to fit the scene better, I suppose. Man, I do be really thirsty today. But anyway, we're gonna start. So this is what it looks like when you first get when you open up a new project in RPG Maker VX. You are in the middle of the ocean with basically nothing, and I don't really want to have a character up here just yet shown, so I'm gonna close out. Oh, it's hiding over there somehow. Which one is this? I have like windows pop up every so often, just so it's not like I'm clicking a bunch of windows and nothing shows up in the screen. It's a pain in the butt to set this up for OBS. Let me tell you. So anyway, there we go. We're gonna get rid of our character here first, just because it's a little bit distracting as far as that's concerned. But also we need to make. So I have the tile sets that were given to me, but I also need to make a separate thing for like a separate. Like I actually have to register it in here. Otherwise, I won't be able to use it. So we have field type, area type, VX compatible. I don't know what VX compatible is. It's probably so as far as RPG Maker is concerned. So this is RPG Maker VX Ace. Now there actually existed an RPG Maker VX, which came before this. Ace is the improvement on VX. So I guess if you use whatever tiles you had in VX, you can use it here also, and you have to set them as VX compatible, I think. I've never used it. It's always area or field. So field means like world map type of stuff. Area, I think, is just like indoors stuff. Yeah. Does it actually show? It's kind of there. It's kind of sort of there. Let me see if I have the tiles here. So I actually have 4 sheets I can work with. Well, we can make a game out of this. The only thing is, if I use the sprites I have, it's not going to match the color scheme that's in the set itself. So it's going to probably look out of place. And I don't know if I don't know if this guy has any sprite like character sprites that's usable for that can be used for this. I know it's in the references, but I don't know if it's anything like that. But anyway, so we have 4 tiles here that we can use. So there's an 8. So RPG Maker, if you're not familiar with it, has splits these tiles according to like these letter sections. There's A1, A2, A3. So there's A tiles, B, C, D, and E. The important ones to note though are the A tiles, because the A tiles have like 5 different categories it can be in, and it's kind of specific on how it's set up. A1 is specifically for any tiles that have some sort of an animation, like let's say lava, like moving lava. Moving lava would go here if it's like like this one. I'm not. Oh wait, it doesn't show. Let me see if I can display that. Let's see, window capture. Don't make source visible just yet. Let's see, make this match. It has to match. It is a pain in the butt to set RPG Maker up if I'm not doing the just on a single monitor. Let's see, and this one is tiles. But anyway, so this is kind of, we're in the tile selection. I just realized that it wasn't visible earlier. So if you look at the default tiles, we have the blue tiles over here, and they're labeled whatever name it is, A1, A2, A3, A4. These can be named anything you want to be in the file itself, if you so desire. However, these labels are important though to tell you as the game as a developer where they should go. So in this case, we have A1. A1. Let me make that a little bit more visible. Where the thing? Let's see. Move this to this side. Then move this over here. That way we have them side by side for reference. So A1 specifically in this case is for animation tiles, like floors that are moving, water, lava, even grass. Just anything that's moving. You can see that the tiles are like in triplicate, but I think though each one of them are a little bit different. Each one of them are a little bit different as far as what they look like. Also, I'm not sure if it's really visible, but the lava tiles, there's vertical lava tiles that kind of look like waterfalls, and waterfalls even. They will also be used in this tile set. I don't know exactly how it's set up. I never actually set up tile sheets from raw myself, but it's just something to keep an eye on of what you're looking for. And I think the modern RPG VX, not VX, the modern RPG Maker softwares will also be in the same format for MV. If we have time later, I'll show you a little bit of MV. I have not worked with it yet. I should be working on it because there's something I want to make on it. But this is VX specifically, and the scheme should be similar. Should be fairly similar. A2 is your ground tiles. Basically anything that's on the ground that can be tiled. Well, tiled mean, well, by tiled I mean like it expands, that kind of thing. So this just tells you put it in A2, put in A3, put in A4, and so forth and so forth. But yeah, buildings. So let me see if I can find an example of an A3. Hello, Night Phantom Zero. Welcome to the stream. And then the A3 tiles. This one, I mean, you're not going to see every single tile sheet for every single tile set that you use. But A3 tiles in general are going to be like the outside of buildings. And so kind of like this, roofs, bricks, that kind of thing. Pretty much, I think that's pretty much it. I think A4 is similar, like this is walls, but these walls can also be used indoors, if not also outdoors, depending on your project. And these are like, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but these blue dots on the tile selection are the default, the RTP for this software. And then A5 normal. I'm not exactly sure what normal means. I'm guessing these means it can't be tiled. It It can't be like auto tiled or anything like that. There's a specific thing with auto tiling in RPG Maker where you take one tile and when you stretch it, it like sort of loops into itself. I'm not sure if that makes sense. I'm trying to use terms that I think works, but it's probably not the specific term though. I don't use this as often as I should, but yeah. And then B, C, and D are random miscellaneous stuff. Like, this is where you put your chairs, signs, potted plants, trees, whatever. And it doesn't really matter where you put them. This is just where you can put them. And I think, I'm not sure how big these can be, but do keep in mind that there might be a limited space, so yeah. And it's kind of difficult to mix and match different tile sets together because of how this is set up. Gotcha. Thank you, Amy. Thank you. But anyway, so I just wanted to get into that a little bit before I actually started picking the tiles that we're working with. So as far as A1 goes, we don't have any A1 for this specific tile. So we have an A2, A4, A5, and a B tile. But that's about it. So not really much to work with. So let's see what we can make with it. Auto tile. So A2 right there. And then we don't have an A3, so A4. So these are the walls. Not much walls either. Do we have an A5? We do have an A5. Gutty Crumb has done a whole Japanese collection meant to fit well together. Yes, I've noticed. I've seen it. Excuse me, a little gassy today too. Okay. And B. All right, so this is basically this is basically the entire tile set for the school. Now, if we wanted to add more to this from other sheets, then we could definitely do that. But if we did that, it would totally clash with what is already in the, well, it would totally clash with the style. So like if you try to use an RTP against the school setting we have right now, it's like gonna look very, very weird. And if you don't particularly care, if you like making a parody game or something like that, it's like, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. But in this case, we kind of want everything to be the same color palette. That's the word I was looking for, color palette. We want everything to be the same color palette, so we don't really want to mix and match stuff. Also, if you look at all of these circles and X's on the sheet, that is basically the that's what the software uses to tell, can you pass through this, can you not pass through this. There is a, what do you call this? And you can change it. You can change it, X for not passing, circle for passing, but there's also like for directional passing, can you go up, down, left, and right? It's also, you can set that kind of thing, like can you only go from up and down, left and right, depending what you're looking at, then you can customize it. And there's going to be a lot of customization if it's not already set. So for the default stuff, I think that's all set already, and with all the possible passages and stuff like that, though you can always change it. Yeah, this stuff has to be set up, but if we're just making a map, and not really trying to make anything interact with the map, we don't have to worry about this. We don't have to worry about this yet. That's a big yet. But just know that if you're wondering, how can I make things pass through here? Can I make something impassable? Yes, you can do it all through here. And there's all these options. I don't know what the ladder option is. There is a tooltip that shows up if you hover on it. Ladder says sets the character as looking upward on this tile. So if you interact with a tile, the character will look up automatically. So that works. What's bush? What is bush? Sets the translucent bottom 12 pixels of a character on the tile. Makes the character's feet seemingly hidden in a thicket. Okay. But yeah, there's definitely different uses for this. And then if you have any fancy scripts you want to use, there's this thing called terrain tag, which you can use to make certain tiles behave in a certain way depending on how the script behaves. Anyway, that is that. Let's go ahead and delete this map because we don't really need it. And we'll go ahead and make a new one. Let me see if it shows up. Yes, it does. So for this one, we're going to select our school tile set. And I'm honestly not sure how big this is supposed to be. But it is very, very difficult to... Well, not very difficult, but it's a pain in the butt regardless. A pain in the butt regardless to adjust something once you got it set down. So the default is 17 by 13, which I think what the deleted... Okay, I can't bring it back. Which is what the deleted scene, the deleted map was from earlier. As far as the examples I was given, I don't quite know how big they are. Let me see what I got. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Probably twice the size of this. At least twice the size of this. For now, though, I think I'm gonna go double the size on this, and then we'll figure out if we need to make it bigger or smaller from there. So today, all we're doing is a classroom, I believe. Amy, since you're here, let me know if that's correct. Otherwise, we'll try to see what else we can add, either today or at a later date. But for now, we're gonna make it twice the default size. We're not going to worry about any of the BGM stuff or fighting scenes because we're not using it for anything like that. No loop. Basically what this no loop means is that if you go to one end of the map, you'll loop back to the other side. So you can either do a vertical loop, horizontal loop, or both, depending on if you want the map to loop endlessly. And then this parallax background, this is kind of like, is it showing? It's not showing. Let's see if I can get that to show. Like I said, it's a pain in the butt to get these things to work on OBS. I should just probably use a monitor set it up on a monitor and use it that way, but it's more difficult for me to do it that way. Let's put this down here so I can do that. Yeah. Opening screen, layer it on the BGM at the time. Yep, that's basically what I do with mine. Basically, so the way I do my opening and ending, I'm not sure if you've seen it. Let me just go to it really quick. So this is my opening. This is actually a video that I've shot, and I actually have several of these that I randomly go through. So here's one. That's the kitchen. This is like the office area that I also put. This one's actually more of a crop and zoom. And this is my bedroom that I've also done. So if you notice though, the bedroom and the kitchen are actually all part of one big room, but when I framed them on the video, I only cropped out that one little section. Hey, American Bison, welcome to the stream. Stream. I'm not that guy. I am doing fine. How are you doing? But yeah, I basically have my RPG apartment set up in here, and these are all videos. They're not like screenshots or GIFs. They want you to say GIFs. I say GIFs. Sue me. Don't sue me. But anyway, bite me. I call them GIFs. It's probably actually called GIFs. I don't. Who decided that? I don't know. But anyway, it cycles through that. I do have a separate BGM that I can change on here if I wanted to. And then for my ending, let me silence that ending music really quick. It's also the same thing. I actually have multiple endings that I can use. So there's an ending on my living room. There's also an ending in my bed. Though my eyes are not closed, which I probably should fix at some point, but not a huge deal. And then there's also the ending outside the apartment. This is usually what I default to, but I can also randomize that if I want to. Okay. I am ready for the weekend, actually. I have a collab tomorrow, by the way. I will post that information on Twitter when we're about ready to do that. I also did mention a couple of days on Twitter that I wasn't going to do gaming streams on this channel anymore, and I'm not sure if I clarified that the last time, but when I say not doing gaming streams on this channel, I mean I'm not doing gaming streams on the YouTube channel. Now, Terraria might still be okay, and the Mahjong stuff might still be okay, but generally I'm going to try to avoid those for at least the foreseeable future. It's probably not going to be permanent because every day that passes by, I get the itch to stream a game on the channel, but I'm going to try to avoid it as much as possible. If I do stream a game, and there's probably still a couple of games I have to finish anyway, I'll probably stream those on Twitch only. And then for the more esoteric stuff, the more random games that I play, like some VNs, those might be on my gaming channel. So gaming channel link is up above in the YouTube banner. Please check that out. There's nothing there yet. Hopefully I get something in by tomorrow. I just haven't gotten around to it. But yeah, I think I heard a notification. Anyway, back to this. So parallax, this is something you can do in the background. Let me just put one on here just so you get an idea. Is anything actually on here though? Is anything on here? Let me just put something on here so that you can kind of see what the parallax looks like. Nope, no, we don't want that. We don't want that. Starting position of player, you always have to set this, otherwise nothing happens. Oh, I also need to turn off the music on this thing because we don't really want to play any themes just yet. Title screen, okay, that's really all I wanted for now. Let me see if it shows up. Okay, I guess it didn't show up. Let me just open it up really quick. But basically, so you're not going to see the parallax in the editor. Like, you don't see this background in the editor, but basically what the parallax does is it fills up any empty space with a PNG, or well, with a picture that you pick, and it could be any picture. And a lot of people use this for like to set the theme, set the atmosphere of the map, just because you don't need to fill every single space in the editor with something, like with a tile, but in this case, it'll show whatever background you set as the empty space. We're gonna close that for now. Let's see. All right, so let's actually get started. There's actually not very many things on this thing. I keep on hearing notifications, but I don't know where they're coming from. Where are they coming from? Oh, that's my phone. That's probably why. Hold on. Let me just check something really quick. Yep, that was my phone. Hold on, please. Sorry about that. Okay, I'll deal with you later. Alright, so let's start with the map. Let me see first our references here. You have a scrolling reference on the stream on the upper right, but for me, I'm gonna be scrolling through them in my own little spot here because it's static. Alright, so let's actually start first. We're trying to figure out, I need to figure out what tiles do what. So these are the floors and walls. These are objects on this side. Okay, All right, let's fill the floor first. We're just gonna dump everything in here. Okay, that is blinding as heck, but we gotta start somewhere. This might be too big now that I think about it, but let's see if it is or not. Okay. Can I just do one wall here? This looks gigantic. This looks absolutely gigantic. I am going to change the size of this map because that looks huge. Okay, okay, maybe a little bit less height and a little bit more width. Yes, this a little bit less height. So I'm gonna go with maybe 16. Well, let's go with 18 height. Width is going to be close to 28. This actually might be workable. We'll see. Yeah, the PNG actually does move whenever I talk. But yeah, this is just to blend in with what we got here today. Okay, so let me double check my references here as far as what's this supposed to look like. Because the area I was shown is very, very small, but we can make it bigger if we need to. The tricky part about this is I'm not quite sure how big the classrooms are supposed to be, and the sprites being as big as they are, we can only fit so much stuff in classroom. So the example I was given is a 6-desk classroom. I think any teacher would love to have less than 10 students, but that is not the reality. So let us try to give them maybe 12 to 15 students, so 12 to 15 desks. So I'm just trying, first of all, I need to set some boundaries here as far as how big this is going to be. Well, how big are these desks anyway? Well, we can make this reflect real life, or we can make it reflect not real life. It doesn't really matter in this case. I'm just gonna take an average though, just for simplicity's sake, for this thing. And the well, okay, can I zoom in? No, this is as much as I can zoom in. I cannot zoom in any more than this, so I'm sorry if this looks tiny, but this is the best I can do as far as how big this is. And it looks tiny on my end also. So how am I actually gonna do this? What's the difference between that desk and this desk? This is a sideways desk. This is a... Hold on, what the heck? Why do none of these desks face right? Why do none of these desks face right? I see a chair that faces right, but if I do that, and then we do this, it kind of looks awkward. Is there one that has a... Oh, is it this one? Probably. Let me see what we got. No, this is as much as you can zoom in. There's like, so there's a 1/1 display, half display here, 1/4 display, 1/8 display. I don't know if why you would need a map this big, but this is the closest you can zoom in. It looks terrible right now because I have all the same floor tiles everywhere. So let me see if I can make that less blinding and a little bit more manageable. Let's make it half that, and then maybe set up a wall here just temporarily for now. I can zoom it in on the stream for you guys, though it's not going to be like be any better. I'm also gonna shrink this map a little bit more because it is still huge. It is still huge. And we're just making it one little classroom today, so I don't think we need it that big. Let me shrink that to 12. Yeah, the V2B thing, I think that showed up like 4 or 5 months ago. And at the time, a lot of people were worried about privacy issues and stuff, and people were asking not to be added to that. But at the same time, there were people that were interested because it's really, really difficult for people in general to find audiences. And I think that would be like the easiest way. If people actually knew what V2B was. I made one anyway, just on the off chance someone was going to use it and find me there. But I don't know how utilized it actually is though. So it's a tool. I don't think it's a tool that most people would look to for. There is a VTuber wiki, like a VTuber wikia. But the people you'll find there are mostly like Hololive, Nijisanji, and the bigger or smaller Japanese VTubers. Indie VTubers will also be there, but they're more like bigger names than most people. But yeah, let me just try to figure out what I'm doing here, because I cannot make this any bigger. I just cannot make this any bigger. It makes it harder. It makes it a little bit harder if I'm not like looking at it with my nose right on the monitor. But right now I'm just trying to look for... there's the desk. It was not in the same spot I was expecting. That's why. That is why. What does this do? Okay. So you also got to be really careful on what tiles you pick here, like individually. If you noticed what I just laid down. So right now, let's just look at the floor down here real quick, where the tiles are. Okay, it's not very visible. Never mind, let's not do that. Let's do it up here. So if you look at the wooden tiles over here, I just laid down like 5 tiles straight across. Now, there is a slight difference, by major difference, what these look like compared to all the other wooden tiles around it. This one has like a little edge of a wall, so you got to be careful in which ones you pick from the sheets over here when you're starting to use it, because if a tile doesn't line up the way you want it to be, the way you want it, you can always edit that in like a image editing software like Photoshop or something else. Photoshop probably is something I would recommend to edit the tile sheets in if it's already pre-made. But I also gotta watch out for all the different image formats like index PNG or RGB PNG, because if you save it the wrong way or edit it the wrong way, then it gets screwed up really, really badly. So yeah. And there's documentation what the sheets are supposed to be, but chances are you're probably not going to be using VX Ace unless you just want this for like scene purposes and not actually making a game. If you do want to make a game, I would highly suggest to get the RPG Maker. I think MV is the most recent one. Let me double check. I have it here. I just haven't used it yet. MZ, I'm sorry. MZ is the most recent RPG Maker, not MV. Ignore MV. Do not get it. Get MZ instead. It is more powerful than MV. Wait, did I say MV? MZ is better than MV. Let's just put it there. There we go. Yeah, I just need to advertise, more people learn about it. But it's like, how would you know? How would anyone know? Unless people actually use the link. Okay, so we need walls. We need something to... I'm just gonna replicate what I see for now on the what do you call this? I will just replicate what I see for now on the reference sheet so that we have a starting point. and then we can edit stuff from there. So here's a wall, but the wall doesn't have to be just that big. We can also make the wall bigger, maybe, if it'll let me. Will it let me? It'll look odd. It does look a little odd. Can I do something about this though? No, that looks weird. That looks weird. That looks a little weird. Where are the edges here? I do not see any edge tiles. Where are the edge tiles? Did I not put any edge tiles? Oh, wait, what is this? Oh, are you serious? It works like that? This is like working with a new... each new tile sheet is like working with a new software. It's a little bit different. I'm not quite sure what all these parts are supposed to do. So that's a mystery onto its own. It's like they don't quite work like I think they work. So what does this do? Okay, so that's an edge tile. So this one is up top. It looks like rafters, I think. So what does this one do? This is... I have no idea. Yes, I haven't worked with this tile set yet, so I'm a little bit... I'm trying to figure out what is supposed to be what. What is this one? This is stairs. I think these are stairs. These look like stairs. This looks like... I have... What is this? Because sometimes you can like make bottomless pits or holes into the ground. Cross-section on a drywall. But why would you need a cross-section on drywall? I'm just looking at one of the examples here, and there seems to be like some sort of wooden outline on the top and the sides of the room. But I'm trying to figure out which tiles those are, because it's a little difficult to figure out. You know what? For you guys, I'm gonna try to see if I can zoom in on the map portion. That way, it doesn't look so small on your end. Let me see if I can do something about that. Let me see if I can do something about this really quick. Because it looks small to me, but it shouldn't look that small to you either. I just have to make a compromise between the part selection and what you actually see. Now, keep in mind there might be a little bit of clipping from the references above, so I think I'm gonna move the references down at the bottom. And since I don't think we're going to be worrying too much what happens in the hallway, I think this is fine. I think this is fine. But for you guys, it is zoomed in as much as possible. For me, though, it is going to be not very zoomed in, so I'm gonna have to like lean in a bit every so often. Black border around the outside. Black border around the outside. Wait a sec. Oh, well, that's also a possibility because I think... So let me just make a different map here really quick. I think what I'm seeing on one of the other ones is... let me see which one does what. Let me see what does what, because I still don't know. What I think I'm seeing on the other ones is there is a empty space up here. And what does this one do? That's the bottom left. This is still bottom, 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 bottom. I think what I'm seeing is that there's empty space up top and to the side, kind of like this on the classroom. That's probably how this works. I have to admit though, this is kind of an odd way to design the tile set because you have an empty space of black all around it. And I can't really use the walls. But I think this is what I am seeing specifically. And it kind of suggests that's the case, though I'm not quite sure how I'm supposed to use some of these these like, I'm not sure if it's showing. Let me get my mouse to show up. I'm not sure which one of these I'm supposed to be using for this part. That's like, how does this work? I do not understand how this works. So this is like a bottom left thing. This is a U shape. This is just bottom, small section bottom. This is the same as above, except I think there's a slight different texture on it. It kind of looks like there's a slight different texture on it. And let's see, and then this one's bottom right. What's this one do? Bottom, they all look the same to me. Why? This needs like an instruction manual because I have no idea what this is. Gotta figure out what all these things do. But yeah, that's the struggle right now. That's a struggle right now, trying to figure out what all these miscellaneous tiles do. So I think I'm gonna have to revise this this classroom and not actually use the upper portion as a wall, and we're probably going to be just using empty spaces for now. So I need to actually clear this map really quick. And to do that, click empty space. Yeah, they're not so important as in the context of the classroom, but they are kind of important if you want to just frame it on the classroom. Well, it can be. It can be. I at least want to make it somewhat I want to make it somewhat presentable, I think. Now, if we were using a different set of tiles, I could definitely work with that a whole lot easier. But we'll see what we can make with this. All right, let me see. All right, let's start with the top first, and then figure out how this part works. Okay, so I get these are like support stuff. This is a support beam thing, and this is just running along. And then there's another corner thing over here. I'm not gonna worry too much about where the supports are. I don't think that's too important until I actually get to them. Outdoor tile for the outside world. You know what? Now that you mention it, you did mention a drywall. Drywall would go here. I think that's what I'm seeing in the reference. Though, what would go up in this section? I wonder if it's something like that. Or maybe something like that. I don't know. But this kind of sort of looks like what we're shooting for, to a degree. And I just have to blend in some of these support stuff. Yeah, we'll worry about it later. Right now, I was thinking I could get this done in one stream, but what I might be able to do in this stream is to get at least the base of this done, and then finish it off stream. Yeah, I feel like I can just get the base of this done and then finish it off stream. And then hopefully because this is already looking a little bit more difficult to work with than I thought. Not not what I expected to run, not the issue I was thinking of running into. But let's see what we got here. We got windows, doors. You know what? Let's just set the same windows. Let's just set the same windows here as a boundary for now, because I'm not exactly sure what that's supposed to do. So wall, wall. And then let's figure out which tiles I want. Okay, so there's a difference. So there's a difference between these checkered tiles. I'm not sure if it's exactly visible on on stream, but I'm seeing like a little. There's like a little support top. There's like a support bottom of a support on the top left here, bottom of support on the middle over here, top right, both. Then this one has none, so this would make a good floor tiling for now. For now, the tile could change. The tile could change, and you know what? That's kind of blinding. So let me see about just mimicking what I have on the example. Why is this so big? No, I don't. No, I don't understand why this is so big. Do not understand, but we shall make it work. And thank you, A-chan, for making this mixtape. Well, I call it a mixtape, but thank you, A-chan, for making this track, because it is lovely, very lovely. She did a good job on this one. This looks very, very shiny. Is there like a non-shiny portion I can add to this? Because I don't think it... No, but it's not that one if that's the case. And these are just objects, so... Huh. Unless it's meant to repeat like this, it looks very odd. It looks odd. Yeah, I don't think it tiles very well. Or maybe I'm not using it correctly that for it to tile. Because it definitely looks a little odd once you get the patterns on here. And I don't see like a just like a middle portion for this, but we're not going to worry about this. I keep getting distracted. Let's work on this other part over here first. See, this is middle, this is nothing, this is left, this is middle, this is right. It's both. Yeah, you have to use a whole bunch of tiles, but what I'm saying is, if you look at the pattern of this diagonal lines, I'm not seeing anything that I could use to complete a diagonal line, unless it is just not what do you call this? Unless it's not shaped the way I expect it to. Because for some reason it's doing like this little cutoff thing where it's just like jagged. But I'm gonna worry about that later. Not gonna worry about that now. Okay, so we have wooden tiles. Save for now, always save. And then what am I gonna do for this top part? Guys, see, I gotta look at all my options here, because it's quite a bit. I see like a yellow stripe on the wall. I'm guessing it's this one, but these are like supports. So this is the support section. So that's the support section. Okay. The yellow stripe is more prominent in the example because it's close up, but it's really hard to see otherwise. Alright, so that's wall layer 1. Can I extend the wall further down without it looking too funky? Doesn't seem to extend that well. Because what I see on the example is like a wall 2 tiles high, but I don't think that's what I'm getting. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything, tile set wise. It doesn't seem like I am. There's only four tile sets here. And I set all 4 tile sets properly. Should be. Okay. All right. No one can get out of this classroom just yet. No one's getting out of the classroom just yet. We're gonna fix that later. Let's see. What do the windows look like? Where are the windows? Windows over here. Okay. That's a little deceptive, actually. That's a little deceptive. Maybe it looks bigger on the reference because of how zoomed in it is, but once I look on the tile set here, it's not quite the same. If we have time after this, if we have time after getting this set up, then I'm going to show a classroom I made in with a different tile set later. So. It is a classroom like in what do you call this? Corpse Party. I've never played Corpse Party, but I am familiar with it. I am familiar with the hijinks that happens in Corpse Party. So let's just make a support here, another support there. This is going to be a little bit bigger than the example, and I think that's fine. See, do we have all the walls that we need? Not quite yet. What does the door look like? You know, I'm surprised I don't see a sliding door here. Oh wait, are these sliding doors or are these walls? They look like walls to me. Now that might be a sliding door, I think. Looks like a sliding door. Anyway, let's put all the windows in here first, and then some walls, empty walls. No, but you need an exit in the back and the front, not in the middle. And I think this is a sliding door. So one sliding door there, one sliding door here. And then maybe, I don't know what kind of wall this is. I don't think I've seen that before. But this is a classroom. For some reason, the classrooms have sliding doors, and then the labs understandably have a actual door as well as the teachers' offices, I think. I've never actually been in a Japanese school before, so I can't say for sure what they're supposed to look like. But that is my assumption. An assumption I will stick to for now. Just designate that that's a door. You know, this kind of reminds me actually of making floor plans. Now I haven't actually made a floor plan before, but my dad used to like making floor plans, especially when it came to designing our first house. Well, I say first house, original house would be more accurate. When it came to designing our original house. And I'm not sure how much time he spent on it, but it was, if I remember correctly, it was pretty detailed. And I can't imagine how precise that he would have had to be to do all that. Just thinking about it is like, man, Dad, you did a lot. Classrooms in schools are often sliding doors, and offices could be more Western style. Yeah, that was my assumption. That was my assumption. So I wasn't sure if it was a correct assumption or not. I'm still working on floors and walls, guys. I'm still working on floors and walls because it's still a little difficult to try to figure out which ones to use here. But I think what I'm seeing here is there's a set of walls and floors for a more for an older or more rural school, and walls and stuff for a more modern school. Or this could be the outside of the school. It's a little bit tough to tell because some of the examples all show inside, but some of the doors could look like it could either be like outside doors or modern doors, that kind of thing. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. I would like to resolve this diagonal thing because it's bugging me right now, but I think that'll do for now. All right, let's decorate the rest of the classroom first. All right, so we have our one lone window here. We probably could make another set of windows at the back. You know, it's funny that the sprite sheet is actually just, so the sprite sheet for the window, so this is the left side of the window, this is the right side of the window, and if you look at it closely, it kind of just cuts off. There is no option for just one small window. There is no option for that as far as I could tell on this spreadsheet. Now, I don't mean to criticize the guy that made this, but typically when you make a sprite sheet, as far as modularity on like just the tiles in general, you kind of want to think how this is going to be used. Like, can you make like can you make like one tile a window by itself? Do you need two tiles for the window? Does it always have to be two tiles for the window? I mean, there's definitely a bunch of different ways to go about it. It's just I find it odd that there's no option for just one. Like, it's always got to be two. It can't be longer. It's always got to be two. Which means it's not very flexible. At least the way it's used right now, it's not very flexible. All right, let's put a blackboard here. A very small blackboard, by the way. Now, generally, I think you don't want the blackboard to be at the side of the classroom, but we don't really have much of a choice here. We could set the chairs to face the blackboard, which would probably make more sense. But let's just assume there's another blackboard on this side of the wall, and we just can't see it because there's no way to put it there. There's just no way to put it there. Let's also put some well, okay, I see lockers over here right outside the right outside the classroom, but I don't think that's typical in Japanese schools. The lockers are typically, I think, right near the entrance, so we're not going to put lockers right outside. Middle of the back tile board. Well, I'm looking for the window specifically in this case. I'm looking specifically for the window. I'm just not quite seeing it. Also, this also I'm looking for. There we go. That kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. Why? Why do you stick out like a sore thumb? Because it's a little higher than everything else. Why is it higher than anything else? It should not be. How's the music, by the way? Is it ambient enough? Is it lockers inside the classroom? Okay. I know some lockers in the classroom are, what do you call this? I know some lockers in the classroom. Oh wait, this doesn't work too well. It's kind of like in the wall. The lockers in the classroom, I think that I've seen at least in anime before are the janitorial lockers, the tall ones where you put like cleaning supplies in. Okay, I was just trying to make sure that was ambient enough for this case. Okay, so let me see if I can find these small bookshelves. I guess this is a small bookshelf. Right there, there's a small bookshelf. Where's the accompanying empty small bookshelf? Where is it? Oh, here it is. Why is it not close to it? Let's put that there then. Okay, where is the clock? There's the clock. Put the clock right there. And then, oh. So here's a tricky thing about RPG Maker in general. If you try to put tiles in the same spot, and like if you try to put tiles in the same general spot where another tile is, it'll get covered. So typically what we would do for that is put the lower portion over here. Sometimes it's split up like that. Though if you want to, you can make it like its own, I think it's a 32 by 32 space. But in this case, this computer is split up into two 32 by 32 spaces right in the middle. Don't know why exactly, but that's how it's set up. And that's common, though not my favorite type of thing. So in this case, we put the bottom of the computer there, and then we'll make a new event. Does it show the new event? It does not. See if I can put that at the bottom so it's actually visible. There we go. So this is what I'm talking about, a new event. Basically what you make events for are NPCs, switches, blank tiles that where if characters walk over, something else happens. So this is where you would typically set it up, and we can actually set up. We should have been able to set up a, what do you call this? We should have been able to set up the top part of the computer with that, but for some reason, I am not seeing it here. Oh, it's in tile set B. So B, C, D, so B through E tiles you can use in this portion, which is what we're doing right now. So top part of that, and we just set it by default. And right now it looks a little odd, but if you go into the game itself, hopefully that's going to be visible. Kind of, sort of not. Which one are you? I guess I have to make another window for this. Not that one either. Which one is it? Hold on. Need to figure out which window this game is at. Yeah, I'm trying to I'm trying to open it. Oh, okay, it's this one. I think it's this one. Here we go. Now, if you compare this, so if you compare this computer in the live version of the game compared to the computer in the editor over here, you'll see it actually displays properly, and you can layer those tiles the way you want them to be and not covering up the clock up here, or replacing the clock completely, because they kind of invade each other's space. That's just what I wanted to show. All right, let's see. All right, so clock over there. There's definitely a lot of ways to dress up a room, but you just got to get the basics down first. Which by itself, it can be pretty tough if you have no idea what you're supposed to do, which I'm still trying to figure out how these tiles are supposed to work. So I'm guessing this is like a platform, this little portion over here. So we're going to make a platform over there. Hopefully that's big enough. Let's see, we have the computer here. Is there a desk we can put down? Well, here's the here's a lectern. We'll put the lectern right over here. It really does look bigger in the screenshots because it's zoomed in, but it's definitely quite a bit different when you're working on the editor. All right, let's just say that's the basics for now. I gotta put student desks here. So where am I put the student desk? We need 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, let's put one space between all of them. If it's too big, then we can definitely shrink the classroom a little bit more. I think this is a decently sized classroom with walking space for students and such. So this is the very base of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 18 students in this classroom. I don't know, Amy. Do we need to make this classroom smaller, cut the number of students down by at least 3? Or is this a big enough classroom for you? Depends on what you want. Do you want less students, or is this enough students? And then we'll do the bare minimum decoration as far as the rest of this is concerned. Cut the classroom down by 1 row. Gotcha. All right, let's see. So if we're gonna do that, so here's the, unless I put a wall and hallway, we could do that. So here's the thing. Whether or not you shrink the map to just make it the space you want, or whether you shrink the map to make the space you want, or you just want to move tiles over, there is no easy way to do that. There is 0 easy ways to do that. So what we have to do is actually this is the annoying part of this whole process. What we have to do is probably like cut it out like that. Yeah, cut it out like that. Move and then retile everything. We're basically retiling everything that we've laid down so far. It's a bit of a pain in the butt, but this is really the only way we can do it. So proper planning ahead of time, definitely required. Well, this is not, well, what I'm doing is technically not pixel art. What I'm doing is mapping. The pixel art is whoever made all these tiles. So that hard part is done, but the other hard part is trying to figure out how I'm going to put all this stuff together so that it looks good, basically. Mapping is always hard. It's like you get the pixel art right to, what do you call it? You get the pixel art right so that you can present the game or whatever area you're or whatever thing you're doing properly, and then you're also, what do you call this, you're mapping the area so that it actually looks good, makes sense, that kind of thing. I mean, it's a whole process. It's definitely a whole process, and it's not an easy process. No one ever said it was. And typically whenever I do this, it's usually by ear, so to say. That's a lot of mats. Do we need this many mats? Do we need this many mats? Well, the thing shows a lot of mats, but I'm not sure if we need this many mats, to be honest. So let's make a thing there, and a thing here, here, and here. Show rack instead of one mat. Or potted tree. Well, yeah, the example shows a potted tree. I mean, we could do that, but right now I'm just kind of filling this spot in for now because what do you call this? It looks empty. I'm just for my own sanity while I'm working on this. It needs to be filled in a little bit. All right, so now we have to go back into the classroom. We're going back into the classroom and fixing everything that we destroyed. Let's see, can I get rid of these desks? We don't need those desks. Can I get rid of those desks? All right, get rid of the desks. Let's see. All right, and then I think we also have to move the computer a little bit as well as the clock because the blackboard here is going to take up space. Now the nice thing about events is you can copy and paste events, but you can't copy and paste the individual map objects if they're already laid down. So that part is a bit annoying. But then again, it's like, how else can we do it? I mean, I've never played with Unity before. And I don't know if it's any easier in Unity, but the thing about RPG Maker that at least most people like, and it just makes it easier to like event stuff. When I say event stuff, I mean like make a map if you want specific cutscenes and stuff to do, and cutscenes and other things that this does, then it's easy to like script all that. You don't need to like know any special programming to do that. You just need to know how the software works. Scripting, on the other hand, is more for like mechanic stuff, like battle mechanics, item mechanics, that sort of thing. But we don't have to worry about any of that here. You don't have to worry about any of that here. But if you're just mapping and trying to like set up a scene, very easy. Very easy. And you don't have to worry about all the oddities that you might run into with Unity and all that stuff. Let's see. No, let's go ahead and put like some sort of aquarium or hamster cage, I guess, right here. I'm just copying the example at this point and trying to figure out what everything does. What is this? What is this? I have no idea what this is. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. Trees. Let's put a little foliage in the classroom. That's not where we want it though. I think there's one that's more in the middle. Let me see about that. Ah, yeah, that's better. That's better. It's like right up against the wall. If this did not exist, if this kind of tree did not exist in the tile set, I could like add, I could make like a separate set of tiles, like copy and paste what's already in the tile and move it up to certain blocks to have it do that kind of effect. Because it can get finicky. Or maybe this would be better. Maybe this would be better. No, that's more for outside. That's more for outside. Let's put that one outside. Let's see, 15 desks, computer. Oh, teacher does not have a chair. Let's give teacher a chair. I think this is a chair. There we go. Teacher now has a chair. And then I'm not sure what this is in the middle of the room. What is this thing? I don't know what this thing is. I don't know what this thing is. Very confused what it is. Let's see, I think the only other thing I can think of to put here as far as a classroom is concerned are like wall decorations. Typewriter, but why? But why would you put a typewriter in this place? I do not understand. We're not putting that there because it makes no sense. I will put some posters though, if there is, if I can find the posters. And for some reason, let's make this also into a science room. So I'm going to be putting a mannequin just at the middle there, or maybe at the end. It's going to be a haunted classroom. Oh, I see it. I see the single lone window. I still think it's odd that I can't make the windows more than 2 wide, but I found the single window. Not using it now, but I found a single window. Yeah, that's too many windows in this classroom. Maybe, maybe not. If I'm going to put another set of windows though, I'm probably going to put them over here. And then we're going to do that eventing thing for the locker rooms, but that wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, there's no middle window. There's a single window, there's a double window, but there's no middle window. And you know, it's getting near summer. And I can't open up the windows. Okay, well, everyone's just going to be sweltering hot right now. Leave that alone. Everyone will be sweltering hot. Okay. So I have more tiles here for like office type situation, but not much more to go in the classroom itself. Let me see what else I can find here. Where is the... I can't find the speakers. Where are the speakers? Where's the PA system? Cannot find it. PA system does not exist. Nande. See, PA system, not only does the PA system not exist, I also don't see the random posters that are shown in the... Oh, here's a random poster, never mind. We'll have to make that into an event. Yeah, I can't find it though, but I found the random poster, so I'll put the random posters up. So let's put a poster there. Oh. Yeah, this event thing is a trick to... Well, it's not really a trick, but it's kind of okay, let's give an example. Let's give this an example. So right now, if you just use the map as is, you can't really interact with anything here as like a switch. So the events are kind of like a switch that you would interact with. As far as the map is concerned, they're just like obstacles. They're like objects that you walk into, possibly pass through, but you can't really interact with them. So the way you interact with them is to set an event, and you can make an event with an empty graphic. That's perfectly fine. We'll put an example. So this is a hello. hello world just so it's a hello world, and we'll trigger that by clicking on the event once we get there. But also, knowing that you can use an event as a graphic, you can definitely make a... You have access also to some of these tile sets, these custom tile sets. I don't think you have access to the regular tile sets. At least it doesn't seem like it. But the custom tile sets, if you have if you have them. Oh, I think the reason why it's not accessible is because it's not part of the map. That makes it slightly inconvenient, but okay. Okay. But yeah, what depending on the tile set you're using. Let me test that theory because I don't remember that. So let's change this to like an exterior. Let me see if I can do an event, and yep, anything below, any tile sets below A, you can definitely use those tiles for event stuff. If like overlapping, like, or you want to tie a specific set of actions to a specific object, that way you can make the event for that object, copy and paste that event. Like, we want to say, if you click on this poster, I am a poster, and we copy and paste that everywhere. So we put, not that one. We copy that, paste this everywhere. Now all of these posters, I'm gonna click on this fourth one over here, have that same I am a poster event. So we don't, so that makes it easier as far as copy and pasting sets of actions that you want to do. And let's go ahead and give this student a face so that we have got something to work with. Let's be a dog for now. Just be a dog for now. Let's see, I'm still looking for the speaker though. And then once everything's set down, then we will, what do you call this? We will test the environment and just check out what's there. Yeah, it was a little bit difficult to find, but okay, so I think posters found. I think there's like a pile of books or pamphlets. There's a desk. We can put desk here, and then we can put an event for... We can put an event for a tank, I think. Separately. Oh, it doesn't work too well though, for some reason. I guess that's why there's a separate tile set for that. Oh, but I still would have to do the thing. I would still have to do this top thing. I see. Okay, let's just do that really quick then. If I pick the right thing. Okay, so, and then we got this huge empty space here. I guess we'll figure out what to do about that later. Not much really to play around with as far as this tile set is concerned. Not much I can tell that I can play around with here. There's definitely a lot of empty space that we could fill it with random junk and objects, but we just don't have we don't have the resources for that as far as this set is concerned. So for now, we'll call this base complete. We'll call the base complete. I'll probably try to spruce it up a little bit more after the stream, but let's go ahead and take a look around this area really quick. Let me just make sure it's actually showing. There we go. Japanese school. Alright, so we're walking. Now I had Okay, so we're I had the pass through on all these objects not set, so we're walking all over the desk and everything. You can definitely set this to where you can't walk through desk and stuff like that. But anyway, just know that this is part of the debugging process. And let's interact with this desk and see what we can get. Hello world. So if this event had a face and it was facing me, it would, and we talk to it, it will show that. And now we can also try to do the same thing with the posters up here. I am a poster. That's one poster. There's also another poster. And this is also the third poster. So all those eventing that we did, it copy and pasted, it works. And if you wanted to have one poster say something different from another, we could definitely do that. But yeah, I'm gonna spruce this up a little bit. I need to figure out what's going on with these mirrored tile, with this mirrored floor over here, because that is a mystery to me. I'm not quite understanding how that works. Yeah, sure. I'm going to try to spruce this up as much as possible first before I give it to you. Do you have, actually, Amy, do you have VX Ace? Do you have this software? Okay, if you have this software, then that makes everything easier. If you did not have this software, though, you would not be able to edit the files. You can have the files, but you wouldn't be able to edit them. Yeah, it's a little bit confusing, to be honest, the way it's set up. But let me show you a school that I was working on. So this school is more or less done for now. But I'm gonna try to spruce it up as much as I can later, outside stream, because I'm not quite satisfied with this yet. But let me show you one that I am working on. Or did work on, haven't really worked on since then, kind of thing. If I can find it. Where did I put that? Ah, here it is. And I guess we can turn off that slideshow because we don't need that anymore. And I need to set this thing to the new scene. And it's gonna look a little weird because I'm using more vertical here than I did on the other one. But if you look at this, tile sheet, these are just the RTP tile sheet. These are the default tile sheets. They look much bigger than the tile sheets where we're working on, right? This is kind of the size I was expecting to work with, but it really depends, I guess, on what you have. But this is like what the idea for this one was. This is also 32 by 32. All the tile sheets are 32 by 32. They have to be 32 by 32, each tile. It's just the way it was set up. It made them feel really, really small for some reason. But if you look at this, we're already on 1-1, and this already looks and feels much bigger than the other sheet for whatever reason. But yeah, this is kind of what I was working on. I think around Halloween, I wanted to make a Halloween game where you would go through these mazes and courses and see who would get through here the fastest. just because, you know, it's kind of fun. And there might be some puzzles along the way. If you get touched by a monster, you get sent back to the beginning, that kind of thing. Didn't really finish it. But this is kind of what I was working on, and you can see already how much bigger it feels and looks. Let me show one more that the one I was I typically work in to make my scenes. I will show that. So if you have not seen my introduction short before, this is what I use to make the bureaucracy line, the line to the isekai paperwork place. You see all these people lining up to get their paperwork done so they can get isekai to the next place. That's what this scene is, but that's not what I wanted to show. What did I actually want to show? So this is my apartment in this area, and I don't know. It just feels like it's set up a bit better. It looks bigger. It looks bigger. I think the way to do that though is to make all the tiles occupy like a bigger space, or it may have been just a palette, the color palette. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but. And sometimes you can't exactly make a vehicle like this one fit in 132 by 32. You have to split this up into like 6 sections because it's that big. And this is the car/truck that run me over. Now this is like in 6 pieces, so I had to make sure that they were all. I had to make sure that they were all moving the same speed and not look disjointed to actually work properly. It's tricky though. It is tricky as heck. This is another tile set I was using. This is just like outside Japanese town kind of thing. And this also does not feel as small as the classroom tile set for some reason, though it is quite limited in what I can do with this. So to move to from one location to the next, what you have to do is like make a new event. Is it showing? Yes, it is. So what you do is have to make a new event. This is the most basic way to do it. Make a new event, and this window is not showing. So, oh, it is showing. It's on the side. And you have to look for transfer player. So what happens is when events are key to everything, yes. So eventing is key to learning any RPG maker, because otherwise you're not going to get anywhere. Scripting is optional. It gives you a lot more power as far as what things do, but eventing is key, and you can do a lot of things with eventing already. If you want to do really, really fancy stuff, that's when you start doing scripting. And sometimes it's easier to just find someone else's script and use that. So, yeah. But anyway, what you do though is you make an event, you do this transfer player thing. I'm not sure the window is showing up. It is definitely not. Let me open that. Let me see if I can capture that window. So many windows. You know what? Next time I do this, I'm just going to like put it on one monitor that I use and just work from there. So much easier than having to set all these windows up. But anyway, this is what you're looking for. There's transfer player, and you have options to say direct designation. So that's like, where do you want this character to transfer? You can transfer them to any place that you've already created. So if I walk to like say this square, and depending on how you want to interact with it, when you interact with it, you can transfer them to another one of your maps, and that's how you transition between one map to the other. But just keep in mind, you always have to have a starting map before you can. Well, you have to set the player to start you have to start the player on a map before you can transfer them anywhere. Otherwise, the game doesn't know where to start. So where did I actually start? So my starting location is actually in this line over here. So, and you can only have the player start from in one location. So we can start in this bedroom, and then things will run depending on how you do events. But there's so many ways to do events. Sometimes you just want to run a scene on a map and not have the player do anything, in which case you would make the player disappear on the map. So regardless of where you are, which map you're on, the player will always be there. That is a requirement. So if you don't want the player to show up on the map, what do? Basically what you do is take their graphic away. So right now we don't have any graphic on the player, but if I wanted to, we can make this would be like the default graphic for the player that I have set for this one. Let's see, and it's always going to be, I think, actor number 1 until you change it, I think. So, but yeah, what you would normally do? Let me go to a scene that doesn't really have anything, so I can demonstrate this better. Yeah, I don't think this one has any running script, any running events. So we'll start the player here with a graphic, but if we didn't want to show the player for whatever reason, because we just want to run a scene, what we would do in this case is look for, let's see, I think it's actor. Let's see. It's not actor, battle system. System settings, change actor graphic. So here we have me here. Now we can keep the graphic over here if we want to, but if you don't want to show any actors, then you can say none. And it'll make it disappear once the script runs. Now, here's an important thing as far as running the script. If you look down here on trigger, let me make sure that my mouse is actually capturing. Capture, 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 capture. Everything should be capturing. Just make sure that's actually the case. Yep, it's actually the case. Mouse, very important when you're doing a show and tell. But anyway, so very important thing if you just want a script, an event to run automatically without you having to interact with it, is this trigger function down here at the bottom. And if you just hover over it, I don't think it's going to show on screen, but a little help tooltip. There we go, tooltip. Tooltip will show up to tell you what actually you can do with that setting. And there's a whole documentation thing you can also read, but this is the faster way to get to it. So according to the trigger tooltip, action button starts when the player pushes the confirm button. So what you would do there is walk up right next to the event or right on top of it, depending on how you have it set up. Press the confirm button to run the script. That's the most basic. That's the most basic. Now, player touch. In this case, it would be the player running into. If you do like player touch, if the player runs into the event, that's when the event triggers. Now, how is that different from event touch? Think of it like from the way I was confused about this at first, and I had a friend explain it to me. And the friend said, think of the player touch as like that player pushing into the event. If the event is doing nothing, and it's set to, if you're doing nothing, and let's say the monster is coming at you, and the monster didn't have any specific triggers on there. Let's just say the monster is just like action button for whatever reason, and the monster comes at you. Well, if the monster okay, let me rephrase all that because I'm thinking about this wrong. Like I said, I get confused about the player touch and event touch also. But anyway, if let's say the monster has a player touch function to it, and you're just standing still. This is the way I understand it, so it may not be accurate. If the monster comes at you and they have the player touch trigger on them, if you're just standing still and they walk up right next to you, nothing should happen. The event should not trigger. But if the monster has like an event touch, or the NPC has an event touch, and they come right up to you and you're not doing anything, then the event will trigger. Now, vice versa, if the NPC is just sitting, is just like standing still and they're not doing anything, and you walk up to the NPC and they have the event touch trigger on them, they should not run whatever events they have. That's how I understand it. But in this case, if you want something to automatically run, there is auto run, and then there is parallel process. Now, auto run is probably the easier of the two to understand, where as soon as you enter the map, the event will run whatever it has. Now, what order they run depends on, I'm not quite sure how it decides that. If you have multiple auto run events happening, I think it goes like in event ID order. I'm not exactly sure, but that's why I want to say. But if you have parallel process, then any event that has parallel process attached to it will all run at the same time. That could overload your computer, and you have to be very, very careful that you actually know what you're doing when you use that. Could you use auto run for some kind of cutscene? Yep. Typically, you would use the auto run for a cutscene. And also, parallel process is also a sort of auto run, but this is like running at the same. This like auto run multiple things at the same time, whereas auto run is just auto running one thing at a time. So let me just do an auto run really quick to show this portion. So I'm gonna add a wait function here so that it doesn't like trigger right away. I am going to add a 3-second wait. Then we're going to make my character disappear. And then we're going to make a short 1-second wait just as a pause. And then we're going to show the text, I am still here. You can set this to whoever you want it to be, but we'll just have the text pop up. And I think by default you have to click a confirm to end it. And if you have auto run, I think the thing will only run once, and then you can start moving around again. But let me also switch it back on. Let me switch the character sprite back on so that we can test movement. All right, let's try this really quick. And let's make sure it's up. Oh, it's visible. It is visible. Okay, so 3-second wait. We disappear. 1-second wait, we are still here, and then we have to confirm this to close it. You can make this auto advance by itself. There's like a whole manual for that. And then we're back. Now, it seems like it's going to loop forever until I stop the event. So, to prevent that, you have to make sure to do a erase event. Where is erase event? Where is erase event? Where is the erase event? It's got to be here somewhere. Game progression, flow control, exit event processing. I think this is what I want, though no, it's actually erase event is what I want. Exit event processing would like be exiting in the middle of a set of conditions, but that's not what we want to do. Where is the erase? Oh, no, that's erase picture. Erase event, there we go. So it's going to be in the second tab under character. an event is considered a character in this case, so it would erase the event and it should no longer run. If you don't erase it, and then it'll just keep looping forever, and we don't want that. Let's try this again. Alright, so we're just gonna wait the 3 seconds. We're still here. We are gone right now. We have come back, and we should be able to freely move. If an auto run event is still active, we are not able to move. Same thing goes with parallel process, I think. But let me double check that. I think parallel process you can still walk around, but auto run will always, for sure, stop you in your tracks. Yeah, you can run around when the parallel process is working, but not auto run. Yeah, I think parallel process is the more flexible one, but you gotta be careful as far as the different kinds of logic you want to do regarding that. But if you're just doing scenes, then auto run should serve your purposes unless you want another NPC to walk around, which and do something. But I think we can have. Let me try doing something really quick. Not those. Hey Camcast God, welcome to the stream. And yeah, this is actually just one of the default RPG Maker DS characters. So I don't have I don't have a custom sprite, but this is the one I took for myself for now. Let me just test something though. I think NPCs can still walk around even if there's an auto run. I need to test that. If not, then I guess you have to do a parallel processing. Okay, NPCs just walking in place. I need you to move randomly. Can you move randomly? Seems like NPCs can move okay. But then again, I didn't have anything in particular here. Let me do a 1 second wait. Oh, that's because it's an action. No, it's an auto run. Let me try that. Let me try this. I can't move. Other events can. So yeah. But anyway, those are some of the basics as far as how to do like event scripting if you just want to do like cutscenes and that kind of stuff. And as far as the classroom is concerned, we were done with that earlier. I was just showing different maps and how they compare to the classroom that we made earlier. The classroom feels very, very tiny. The sprite sheets feel very, very tiny. This one does not feel as small comparatively. Let me see if I can find another one that has like. Well, this is the RPG Maker DS tile set, and that also does not feel tiny. This one is not an official tile set. This is actually a tile set made by another sprite maker, but it does not feel anywhere near small compared to what we use for the classroom. So either I have to make the classroom smaller or do something else to make it feel not so empty. How big it is. That's really my only. That's really my only critique as far as the tile set I was using earlier. So I may have to actually shrink it because the screenshots are a little deceptive on how big they look, but when you actually use it, they are way, way tiny. Like, let's go back to it. Let's go back to it really quick. So this is a tile set someone else made, and then when we go back to what we were doing earlier. Yeah, sure. Give me the interior tile stuff if you want to fill this up a bit more, because right now we just switched back to this and it feels so much smaller. Let me do this. Combining two tile sets is not difficult. The main thing for that though is, let's go back to this tile set tab, is make sure that we can put something in this C, D, and E sets. Now we can combine, we can probably, like, if you have another tile B set you would like to use alongside this, we can definitely fit that into any of the other ones. Just because it says B, C, or D, it does not mean it has to be in B, C, or D. But B, C, and D cannot go into any of the A's, and any of the A's cannot go into B, C, and D. That's pretty much it. Yo, what's up, bro? Hi! How's it going? How's it going? We're actually about almost ready to wrap up, actually. What's up? What's up? But yeah, so I don't know. This just feels tiny to me. This really just feels tiny to me. But we'll okay. All right, let me see what you got, Amy, and then maybe we can add some more stuff to this. I don't mind extending this stream a little bit to see if we can spruce up the what do you call this? The map a bit. Well, this is as most as we can zoom in though. So that's the thing. This is the most we can zoom in. And it already feels small. Well, I will give the guy a plus for the color palette. The color palette is similar. No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We might actually extend this a little bit, considering I got new stuff I can play around with. Though I don't know how appropriate any of this will be for school. Let me add those to the. What do you mean? It doesn't matter how big the pixels are. The sprite, all the tiles need to be 32 by 32. That is a strict limitation for the tile sets. But as far as the sheets themselves, I think there's actually a limit to the sheets. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't checked the documentation in a while. For your video, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, but I think it's only going to zoom in. Let me see how much it zooms in. Okay, so for the video, yes, it's only going to zoom in, I think. Whatever the default is. What is the default? 17 by 13, 17 by 13, 17 times 32, 554, 13 times 32. So the screen is always going to be, when you output the scene for video purposes, the scene will always be 554 by 416. Let me write that down really quick. It will always be that size. It will always be that size, so you can't make it any bigger than that. And that is just a limitation for VX. Ace, I think you can actually go bigger for MV and MZ because it uses HTML and JavaScript for its output, I think. But since VX Ace is not quite as easy to mess around with, it's going to be that size, always. Anyway, let's go ahead and add some more tiles here since we got extra tiles. Now, I did say that B, C, and D and E can go into any of the B, C, D, and E. And we have 2 B tiles here. Yeah, there's no way to do a full screen. I don't think that there's no way to do full screen. That's not possible. I don't think it's possible. Anyway, we have 2 bead tiles here. You can probably do full screen with MV and MZ. I don't know for sure, but you might be able to do it with that, but not Ace. I'm pretty sure Ace cannot do full screen. VX Ace, or lower cannot do full screen. I did mention that if you have B, C, D, or E tiles, you can put them in any order around here. It really does not matter. It really does not matter. So we have a B tile in where C is, and it'll work just fine. What I'll actually do is just try to match up C and D for what we have. Yeah, you can fake it in OBS. You can definitely adjust in OBS if you want to, but as far as actual output in here, that's not going to be possible. So now we have more things that we can play around with, more walls to play around with here. And it actually looks like it blends in much better. I don't know what this is. Couch. For some reason, we will have a couch at the back of this classroom, and it blends in just fine. And let's also put a TV right in front of the classroom right there. Oh, you can only see. Oh, sorry. Here we go. We're back. We're back. And let me also get the zoom in right there. I mean, it kind of works. It kind of works. The main thing to keep in mind here is if you're trying to make things look what do you call this? If you're trying to make things look standardized, that's it. If you're trying to make everything look standardized, you just want to make sure that your tile sets have the same color palette. Otherwise, it just kind of clashes against each other, and it's no good. It would just be no good otherwise. I mean, let's put a different tile set in here that you would not normally have. That normally would not work. Inside. Let's do an inside. And then let us put this statue right in the middle of the classroom. I mean, those two color palettes clash like really, really badly. If you're trying to use this for like some sort of presentation, that'd be like terrible. But if you're just making like a parody game where anything goes, this would be just fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, if we're trying to keep everything uniform, though, we would not want to do that. No, that would be bad. That would be bad. So we won't. Instead, and just keep in mind if you're switching between tile sets, it might come out a little bit weird depending on what's going on here. I guess for some reason we have this dragon statue in the middle of the classroom, though we could probably put the dragon statue outside also. This is a Yakuza school. Because why not? It's a Yakuza school. The more wrong it looks like, the more right it actually is. Front door guardian type thing, yeah, it could definitely be. I mean, these work well with each other. That you could actually just say they it would work. It would work, and there would be nothing wrong with it. And you know what? We got to do the whole social distancing thing, so we got to make these walls, make sure to separate all the students from each other, and let's see what else. It maybe have a little tea kettle here somewhere. No access to a sword. And then tea kettle here. What else? What else can we put? What else can we put here? There's no. Well, we have a kitchen and a sink, but we don't have we're not. This is not set up for home ec. We can probably call this the classic Japanese classical lit classroom. So that will be fine. This will be fine in this case. And then the going home club, for some reason, left their kotatsu out in the... Not going home club, but someone left a kotatsu right outside of the hallway, and they're gonna get in trouble for it, but we're gonna maybe event that instead, because these things don't seem to work very well. Let's see what this looks like event wise. I'm just kind of curious. Does this work? Oh, it works. You have to event it, but it works. Kind of, sort of. There's a little bit of a technical overlap between the edge of the kotatsu and the seat over here, but it kind of sort of works. The English club is the going home club. I mean, who wants to stay for school activities unless you were really into that? Zabuton, okay. Alright, but I think the extra decorations from the other tile sets would definitely benefit what we have so far. I don't know what this wall portion is going to be like though. Let me see what this looks like. I mean, I can see this wall portion working. Just don't know where I would use it, but it could definitely work. It could definitely work. And then if we wanted to change up the flooring here, we could definitely change up the flooring this way. Would work a whole lot better than this mirrored surface that we got going on already. Though this looks more like a sidewalk than anything you would find in a school. So that is also an issue. Yeah, you wouldn't find that in a school for sure. Yeah, so Amy, just send me the resources you would think we could use objects from in my DM. I think I see another one there. I'll work on the rest of this off stream because there's so much stuff we could do here. I mean, we could go, as long as we have more stuff to place down, and more options than what we have already just for the school stuff, it could be a whole lot better. No, I'm not gonna use all of it. I'm just gonna use what looks good. But this already looks a lot better than what it was a while ago with just the random stuff we put in here. Though use random stuff with caution, definitely. Gotcha. All right, well then, I think I'm going to end stream right here. I hope everyone learned something and found this a little bit informative as far as how to do things. Design-wise, I can't say anything design-wise. Just how to make maps. Make it the best way you feel like you can make it. I am not a map designer. I just put stuff together given what I have. That is all I do. But if you have a plan, right, I can definitely do something based on that plan. Now, if I were to ever like open up some sort of commission for making RPG style maps, you would have to give me resources for that, because I think it would be better to like have it suit whatever you want. But otherwise, I don't know if this is something regular I would do. Right now, this is just like a favor, so to say, for a friend. So yeah. I think your other thing got censored. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. Yeah, I got censored on Twitch. I'm not sure what it is. It's you're probably meant to say itch.io, right? I want to say itch.io. Yeah, yeah, that's probably what it was. Okay, but anyway, I'm gonna close it out today. Hope that was somewhat informative. And then I do have a collab tomorrow with Skylar Reach. If you are familiar with her, she is a gremlin of a swordsman tank that gets in trouble with her boss quite a bit. So we'll be playing It Takes Two tomorrow, and we'll probably be doing like every weekend. So so yeah, Skylar Reach tomorrow. It'll be on her channel. I'll have information posted up on my Twitter once we're ready for that. And yeah, see you guys. I'll see you guys later. Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned anything specific, bro. But yeah, we'll close it out for today. I might stream like some of the games I already have in progress on Twitch tomorrow. I am not sure. I kind of want to take a break from streaming games for at least for now. So you're going fishing tomorrow? Okay, well enjoy that. I haven't gone fishing before, so that sounds enjoyable actually. I want to try fishing one of these days. Deep sea fishing maybe, but I don't know like first thing as far as gear goes. But anyway, we'll do that. All right, I'll see you guys later. Have a good rest of your day, everyone. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please subscribe. Also, if you're not following on Twitch, please consider following in that one also. But for YouTube is where I'm going to be generally. So please subscribe, please like, and that's algorithm stuff. And please hit the notification bell if you don't want to miss a stream in the future. All right. So thank you all guys, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. You know, I actually had an ending theme for this one, but I like this lo-fi, Hololive stuff. So we're just gonna go listen to it for just a few more seconds. Just a few more seconds.